So I feel like back then when you were in that stage, that must have actually been around the time you guys met. When did you guys actually meet?
Yeah. So you just skipped a pretty big chunk of my life. Do you want me to run you through it?
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
So I don't actually care.
Okay. So I ended up moving out because my mom got crazy because I was recording videos all the time. I was yelling all the time, as I do in my videos, not in podcasts, don't worry. And she's like, you got to move out. So I ended up moving out, and I moved in with Jelly. Now, I met Jelly, and he was sharing the exact same mindset, the exact same drive. He was just green and a little bit shorter than me. And I would also say a little bit less funny than me. So anyways, we became best friends, and we're still really, really good friends. And we ended up moving in together, and that's when things went really hard because it was constantly work. And I became obsessed. I became obsessed with work. My life became work, right? Like, wake up, work, go to bed. Wake up, work, go to bed, right? And it was like I didn't leave the house. I didn't see people. Sometimes for weeks, I genuinely didn't leave the house. I would just order food all the time. And I hit 1 million subscribers there, and things were going great. And then the biggest YouTuber on the platform goes, hey, do you want to join my YouTube network? I'll just take 10% of your revenue, which at the time was completely acceptable.
Who was that?
And PewDiePie.
Oh.
PewDiePie goes, hey, do you want to join my YouTube network? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Revel Mode. He was signed with Disney, and he ended up flying me and Jelly out to Seattle, and we got to meet him there. We got to hang out with him, and it was insanely eye-opening. Because at one point we're sitting at the dinner table, and keep in mind this is small Kwebbelkop and small Jelly, and we're sitting there.
How old were you?
It's PewDiePie. I was 21. I was 21. And it's PewDiePie, it's Markiplier, it's Jacksepticeye, it's Cinnamon Toast Ken, and they're sitting at the table, and I'm like grinding away. 2 videos a day I did on the Kwebbelkop channel. I did a vlog every day too on my second channel. I was doing everything. I was editing. I was making thumbnails. I was overworked because I had to get like a week ahead of schedule to be able to go to Seattle. And Felix goes, yeah, so Mark, how are your editors? And I'm like, what? These guys have editors? And I'm like,
son of a bitch!
No, I thought he did it all himself.
I
was so mind blown by the fact that these guys had editors that I immediately went onto my computer to my Facebook, and a friend of mine had just messaged me like a day before that saying, hey, are you looking for editors? And I'm like, yeah, you're hired. You're moving in like next week. Come over. Like when I get back from my trip, you're going to be my editor. And that was kind of the start of me starting to give away my time or like giving away my the things I had to do so I could get time back. And that kind of became really addicting because at first I was working like 100-hour weeks. Like it was insane. And I was at the verge of having like a burnout. And then it was like, oh, I can be done at 9 p.m. with work?
You can just stand up from your seat and you're like, oh my God, I have a life.
What do I do? What do I do with my time? And then I started hiring more editors. And I was like, okay, that's the editing gone. Now, what else can I outsource and it will result in a better product than what I could do on my own?
A better product and less work. That's the weird thing.
Exactly.
That's like like a lot of people I remember. Do you remember like, I would say not even that long ago, even like 3 years ago, you would like, I would say most YouTubers would really try and keep it a secret if they had.
Yes.
Like
I was in the car with
Yeah.
KSI. He was in Amsterdam and he goes, we're talking about YouTube. And he goes, yeah, so I have an editor. And I'm like, cool, like so what? And then he's like, yeah, like, I don't want anyone to know that I have an editor. And I'm like
Like
why
it's a
not
dirty
just share
secret.
it? Yeah, he's like, yo, let me tell you something, man. Come close. And I'm like, I've like,
Yo, you
two
wearing
editors.
a wire, bro? You wearing a wire?
Yeah. Yo, let me pat you down, man. No, and I'm like, just share it with the world. Like, people
You're like,
don't
yeah,
care.
dude,
Like,
I
I've
got
done
2.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But like 100%. I remember that used to be the most taboo thing. But yeah, because I think it was like either people would think you were lazy or that it just made your content feel less genuine. But I think what ultimately what it comes down to for most people isn't laziness. I don't know many lazy YouTubers. It's really just that when you're already spending hours and hours and hours of a day making the actual content, like recording it, and then a couple of hours making a thumbnail, like if you're also trying to fit an edit into that, editing is not
And upload
easy,
it
man.
after.
Yeah, and uploading
Yeah.
it, titles, thumbnail, like, oh my God, there's so much stuff people just don't realize. But I think editing is a big one where people are just like, oh yeah, you just like, like chop it up a little bit and
Right.
and,
That's it,
maybe
right?
like add a zoom. It's like
hit
oh
edit
my
and then hit
God, dude.
render. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you do, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're trying to do everything and you're a channel like us who does daily uploads, it's like you either have to do a subpar edit or you literally have to not sleep.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not sustainable, and it also doesn't allow you to grow. Like, you think about all the things that you've been able to do in addition to your daily YouTube uploads now. You never could have done that probably if you didn't make the investment.
No way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even been able to have a social life or hit the gym. A great book I read, it's called The E-Myth. It's they explain, well, if you are working in if you're creating a product, why should you always be the one creating that product? You could just hire someone to create the product for you, and then you figure out how to make the product better. Or you hire someone to figure out how to make the product better, and then now you're in charge of hiring people to make the business run better. Or you just hire someone to do that, and then you just infinitely skills up.